There. Yay! Hey, you're on mute.
Here,
There we
okay, yes,
go.
we're off mute, we're on camera, we're ready to go.
Perfect. The virtual space is all yours. Take us away.
Thank you so much for having me. Sandra, after your comments, I was like, mic drop for Sandra, boom, right there. Oh, so good. It's a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. I have loved all the speakers. I've been taking so many notes, and I love the energy of everyone in the chat. So I'm going to jump right in with a question for everybody. Have you ever paused to ask yourself, what would change if you dared to redefine success on your own terms? The traditional idea of success tells us to climb, to achieve, to sacrifice, to obtain financial stability, security, social status, a lifestyle, external validation. But rarely does it prompt us to ask along the way whether this relentless pursuit actually leads to the fulfillment and contentment that we're seeking. Growing up as the daughter of Dominican immigrant parents, I constantly heard my father say, life is all about sacrifices, mija. He meant it in the context of what he and my mother went through to give my sister and me the best chance at success in this country. And I saw firsthand the weight of those sacrifices on their shoulders. They were always in survival mode. So from an early age, I was determined to use every opportunity they gave me to make good on those sacrifices. I told myself that when I was older, I was not going to be poor, that I was going to live in a safe neighborhood. I would make sure that money wouldn't be a stressor in my life as it had been for my parents when I was young. And becoming a lawyer, achieving the American dream, that was the plan. And for a long time, I followed it. I followed the plan. But over the years as a lawyer, I realized that the definition of success sold to me and us, whether it's framed as the American dream or simply being successful, was a double edged sword. At first, it seemed to validate my hard work, my drive, my hunger, my ambition. But as I advanced in my career over the years, I found myself caught in a relentless cycle of achievement and validation, attaching my productivity and performance to my self worth. And that mindset becomes increasingly difficult to escape when you've spent your life hustling and grinding to achieve and prove yourself in school and in work environments as one of the few. So that drive that had propelled me forward began to feel like a treadmill that I couldn't get off of. And my success, while it may seem impressive on paper, while it may have seemed impressive to others, came at the expense of the parts of myself that I had neglected, all in pursuit of this, what I would say, a narrowly defined ideal of success. And as Latinas, we're expected to be tireless workers, selfless caretakers, flawless professionals, all at once. And we strive to be twice as good, and we work twice as hard. And we want to honor our parents' sacrifices. We want to be a role model for our communities. We don't want to ruin it for anyone else. Yet the pride and this pressure can often trap us in outdated dreams that no longer really reflect who we are or how we might want to live and work. So years ago, when I was just 1 year away from making partner at a law firm, I was at a crossroads. On the outside, I had everything I was supposed to want. I made good money, I had insurance, had health insurance, had financial stability, I had a home, I had a high chance of becoming partner. I was doing well at the firm, I had the support of the firm and the respect that comes with that. But inside, something felt way off, very misaligned. Although I did great work and I loved researching, I loved writing, I love oral argument, love those things, I did not connect with the substance of my work. And I felt like I had gifts and strengths that I wasn't using, that I wasn't exercising, that I wasn't growing. And I knew that continuing down that law firm path wasn't what I wanted anymore, despite the fact that partnership had been my goal for the previous 9 years. So, to the shock of many, including partners at the firm, mentors, people in my network, and my parents, because even as a grown adult, I care about what my parents think. I said no, thank you to partnership. Now, years later, I left the law altogether to pursue leadership development and executive coaching, which is what I still do today. But when I left the law entirely, I faced questions from people. Aren't you wasting your law degree? Why would you give up a title and a position that you worked so long and hard for? And what people asking those questions did not understand was that my definition of success had evolved. As I advanced in my career and I had children, I realized that the pursuit of a traditional version of success was costing me so much of my joy, so much of my fulfillment, and my well-being. And I had to decide to pursue a new path aligned with who I was becoming instead of being beholden to who I once was or what I once wanted, which was true for me at that time. And I was no longer interested in attaching my worth to my work. I see this same realization in the women I work with, the women I coach, especially Latinas and women of color professionals. They've achieved so much, but still feel so dissatisfied. Their hard work and the levels they've reached in their career start to ring hollow. There's like an emptiness to it. And they tell me they thought they'd be happier by now. They tell me they struggle to take care of themselves and that there's never enough time to do everything they feel like they have to do. They recognize that they've been staying where they are, not because it brings them happiness, but because it's the misery they know. The idea of change and the idea of uncertainty is very scary. And they also recognize that they've stayed where they are because of what it has symbolized, that they made it. Despite the odds, they made it, and that they're worthy and that they're good enough. But then they also ask themselves, right? Is there more? Is there something more? Is there another way to do this life work thing? Then they feel guilty for wanting more or something different, right? It gets more complex. There are multiple layers here. And I've been there wanting something more for myself, my life, my work, thinking, oh, why can't I just be grateful and happy with what I have and where I am? Why can't I just be grateful for that and be okay with that? You see, we often use gratitude as an excuse. We use it as an excuse to suppress our desires or to deny ourselves the chance to explore new paths and new possibilities. But true gratitude doesn't ever try to convince you to settle for less. True gratitude is about appreciating all you have and honoring yourself enough to ask the question, what do I really want now? And giving yourself the permission to find the answer. What I have learned firsthand and what I see in those I work with is that true success is not about staying on a path because it's what you've always done. True success isn't about staying on a path because it looks good to others, including your family. True success isn't about staying on a path because it's where hard work and momentum have led you. True success comes from living intentionally and ensuring that how you spend your time and your energy, which is finite, aligns with who you've become and what and who matters most to you. Because when you dare to redefine success on your terms, you do not just transform your own life. You are breaking barriers and you're clearing the way for other Latinas beside you and coming after you. You honor the legacy of all of our families and all of our ancestors who sacrificed for us. And we honor them by living a life true to ourselves. We honor them by taking deep care of ourselves. We honor them by believing that rest is productive. We honor them by boldly walking on our own path. So today, I ask that you make a promise to yourself. Promise to take a deep, honest look at what success really means to you. When you imagine a successful life, a good life, what do you see? What do you see? Let that vision reveal what you value most, what matters most, and what you truly want to pursue. Because when you align with that truth, something profound shifts inside. Let me tell you, you start choosing yourself a whole lot more. You start seeing yourself a whole lot more. You start knowing yourself. You start feeling more convicted in who you are. And you activate your power to step into a life that's authentically yours with less stress, much more joy, more fulfillment, and something that so many of us deeply desire, which is freedom. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Arivee. That was like, I'm trying to write and read and like amazing. Like there's so many great things. And I think it's just a collective because I think you shared a story. Everybody here thus far, don't attach your work to your worth. How often do we do that? All the time. Why can't I just be grateful for what I have? I mean, all the time, right? All the time. Why can't I just be grateful for this? Is gold, and it's a reminder to ourselves to check ourselves in those moments. So I appreciate that very, very much.
Thank you so much, Arivee, really for your powerful words and for being here with us today.